investor live Q&A session. My name is Faris Abadi, co-founder and CEO of MySwimPro, and I'm excited to announce that we are officially open for investment. Since launching the company in 2015, we've helped millions of people all over the world improve their performance and health both in and out of the water. We've helped people swim faster and smarter than ever before. And today, we want to invite you, the community, to be a part of our journey and help more people all over the world swim faster and smarter than ever before and improve their performance and health. So a quick run of show for this live. By the way, we are live, so let me know in the comments and the chat where you guys are joining from. If you've already invested in MySwimPro, let us know why you made that investment. And towards the end of this program, I'm actually going to pull your questions onto the screen, and I'm going to go through them one by one and answer any and all questions you guys have about MySwimPro, the investment opportunity, and anything else that is applicable right here as well. So the first question you might be at, oh, by the way, if you want to invest in MySwimPro, you can invest for as little as $100, and the investment link is going to be linked down below in the description. We'll also pin that comment in the live chat as well. So the first question you might be asking yourself is, why would I invest in MySwimPro? Why would anyone invest in MySwimPro? And to show you guys why you should do that, here are 5 reasons why you should invest in MySwimPro. Here are 5 reasons why you should invest in MySwimPro. Reason number 1, the MySwimPro app has over 1.5 million downloads across 180 countries. You're investing in the #1 fitness app for swimmers around the world. Not only that, the MySwimPro app was named by Apple as the best app of the year and has been featured by Sports Illustrated, Men's Health, and numerous other international publications. Reason number 2, your investment in MySwimPro will directly help people improve their performance and health. We all know the incredible health benefits that swimming has for humanity. It's time we invest in what really matters. Reason number 3, the global community. That's where you come in. MySwimPro has the largest digital community of swimmers in the world. We have a huge social media following across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Reason number 4, we're all swimmers. MySwimPro is built by swimmers, for swimmers, and we're extremely passionate about helping people reach their goals. Reason number 5, you can invest in MySwimPro for as little as $100. Can you imagine investing in some of the biggest health and fitness brands in the world like Under Armour, Nike, or Peloton? Your returns would be absolutely insane. And that's why now is the time to invest. Visit the campaign page, wefunder.com/MySwimPro, so you can invest and be a part of something huge. Let's go. There we go, guys. 5 reasons why you should invest in MySwimPro. Like I said, minimum investment is $100. You can invest all the way up to $100,000 or more, and we have different investment perks along the way. So I'll be sure to talk about those investment perks in just a little bit. Now that you're interested and you've checked out that pinned comment and the link in the description for going to wefunder.com/MySwimPro, you might be wondering, how does this actually work? Is it really that easy? Is this a scam? No, this is not a scam, but I am not your financial advisor, so make sure you do your own due diligence before making any investment decision. We can just direct you to the right spot to go. So I'm actually going to put this comment on the screen here. So if you want to invest, it's linked down below, pinned comment, wefunder.com/MySwimPro. And I'm actually going to go and share my screen for you guys so you can see what the website looks like. Here it is. Right now I am on a web browser, so hopefully you guys can see my screen. And we have the campaign page. This is the URL, wefunder.com/MySwimPro. If you guys are not familiar with how equity crowdfunding works, it is a new form of investing that came about in the last 5 years or so. And the regular folk of the world, so retail investors as they're called, can invest from literally anywhere in the world. We already have investors from over 40 different countries. We've run this campaign in 2017 and 2019. And so this is what the campaign page looks like. Here's MySwimPro, the world's #1 workout app for swimmers. And you can see the pitch video. There's also an investor panel interview that I did, so there I am, and I answer for 10 minutes about Q&A about the company and the investment opportunity. You can watch the investment video, which I just played earlier on this video. You can see how much investment has already been raised from how many investors. So we have close to $300,000 raised from almost 300 investors, and you can just simply go in here. You can see the investment perks, which we're going to talk about. You can put in $500, it shows you which investment perk you qualify for. And keep in mind, we're going to talk about the investment perks, but that's only, one reason to invest. Obviously, you want to have ownership in the company. That's the bigger reason why you would invest, which we'll talk about the terms. And then if you scroll down on the investment page, you can actually see an overview. If you have questions, you can actually ask a question on this campaign page, and I will go ahead and respond to those as they come in. You can see here different prospective investors have asked questions, and I go ahead and answer them. So if you have a specific question and you want more detail and we don't answer it here on the video, you can go ahead and ask the question here. You can also see why people are investing. This is the investor feedback right here, and these are all the people who have invested in MySwimPro and why they invested in the company. There are literally hundreds, so thank you so much if you're one of those people. And then we'll be sharing more updates as the campaign gets rolling here. But back to the overview page. So we have some bullet points about some of the highlights of the company, a little bit of an overview of the team, and then of course we talk about why invest in MySwimPro. This is sort of an overview about the company. And if you scroll down, you can actually see some slides from our investor deck, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. And this is pretty long. We're not going to go into all of the details here, but if you're thinking about making an investment, make sure you scroll through and actually take a look at all of this. And then there is the MySwimPro investor deck right there. So I want to make sure everyone can see all of that. Again, this is linked wefunder.com/MySwimPro. So I want to make sure everyone has access to that. Now, I did allude to the investor perks, and make sure you guys check those out. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what these investor perks actually look like. So the minimum investment is actually $100. So if you have $100, you can invest, and you can be one of over 500 different people from all over the world, over 40 countries. I think we'll get over 50 countries represented in this investment round. And you can invest for $100, and that gets you in the door. And you can say that you invested in MySwimPro. So if you like the content that you see, if you like the app, if you like all that stuff, $100, and you can be a part owner in that. The next tier up is investing $500. And when you invest $500, you have 5 times as much ownership as investing $100, but you're also going to get a MySwimPro t-shirt sent in the mail to you. So if you guys like the MySwimPro swag, I'm wearing a MySwimPro t-shirt. We add that as a little bit of an incentive for people thinking about investing $500. Now, if you invest $1,000, you're not only going to have 10 times the ownership as someone who invested only $100, but you're going to get the tier below that. So you're going to get a MySwimPro t-shirt, and you're going to get a signed copy of my new book, Swim Like a Pro. So this is a hardcover book. It's available on Amazon, and I'll be sending out a signed version of that. And then if you invest $2,500, we're going to create premium vests. So, I don't have one with me now, but it looks awesome. It's going to be amazing. So everyone who invests $2,500 is going to get a vest and a book and a t-shirt. So these things start to compound as you invest more and more. When you invest $5,000, you're going to get the MySwimPro Elite subscription for life. This is our main offering. This is how we make our money as a business, and we are going to include that a lifetime subscription of the MySwimPro Elite membership, which runs right now $30 a month or $180 a year. I assume in the future the price probably will go up over the years as inflation and we add more offering to it. And you're going to be grandfathered in, included in that subscription for life, for free, forever if you invest $5,000. You're also going to get the vest. You're also going to get a signed copy of my book, and you're going to get a t-shirt. Next up is investing $25,000. And this is where things get interesting if you're a more professional investor. This gives you pro rata investment rights, which basically means you have the ability to continue to invest in the business as we raise more money in the future. If you're investing in a lower amount, you don't really have any control of maintaining your ownership percentage into the future. So if you invest $25,000, of course, this is for the more professional investors or who are accredited, meaning they meet certain criteria. More realistically, that's who you'd be. So for $25,000, you get pro rata investment rights. You're going to get the subscription for life. You're going to get the investor vest. You're also going to get a signed copy of my book, and you're going to get a MySwimPro t-shirt. And of course, if you invest $25,000, you're getting 250 times the ownership as investing the minimum, which is $100. And then our final tier is definitely for the more professional investors in the crowd. Basically, you're going to be an informal advisor to the company on our advisory board. The reason why I say informal is that there isn't a contractual like board position that we're giving out for this investment level. If you're interested in investing at that level or more, of course, reach out to me directly and we can talk about that. But that is an overview of the investment terms. So $100 is the minimum to get things going, but you can visit wefunder.com/MySwimPro to go ahead and get into that. So the next question that you might be asking yourself is, how does it work? We already talked about that. You can go to the link down below. And I'm actually going to pull up my notes right here because I want to make sure I cover everything for you guys. So next up, I want to talk about how the investment will be used. A lot of times people are wondering, well, like, why are you raising money? It seems like the company is doing really well. You have a business. It seems to be working. And there's two main reasons for why we're raising capital. And the overarching theme is to grow the business at a much more accelerated route. So the business, functions. We have revenue. Our main revenue driver is the subscription offering, and we don't actually need to raise the money, and we can continue to have the business. It's not like the business will go out of business if we don't raise the money. The real opportunity for us is to help people more quickly and expand our reach in a much more aggressive fashion. And we're going to do that through two different ways, and that's why we're raising the money. So with additional funds, we can reinvest that into our products. So our main product is the MySwimPro app, available for iPhone and Android. And by having more availability of funds, we can develop new features and create a new improved experience for our members much more quickly than if we go on without the funding. So without the funding, we can create, say, 5 new features in the next year. And with the funding, we can create 20 new features in the next year. So that's just an example. Those aren't, the exact numbers. But we will be able to accelerate how fast we can create new value to our members. And if we can do that at a much more accelerated rate, we'll have more people using the app, more revenue, and the business becomes much more valuable because of that. So reinvesting in the product and making our app the absolute best experience possible, that's one of the reasons we're raising funds. And another reason is on the marketing side. We want to be able to help more people and expand our audience. And by doing so, like if you like this YouTube channel, if you like watching the content we produce, well, by helping us, by investing in the company, we'll have more availability of funds to accelerate and do even more cool stuff on the marketing side. So if you guys like the content, your investment will definitely go towards making even more cool content and reaching even more swimmers in different categories. So we obviously have a product, the app, that helps people improve their swimming. We have training plans, we have workouts, we have analytics, we have videos. But being able to give that value and share it with even more people is one of the reasons on the marketing side that we're raising funds. So, two main reasons. It's to reinvest in our product, and also on the marketing side to expand to more people. And that's why we're raising investments. So when you invest in MySwimPro, your funds are directly going towards those two initiatives. Basically, think of it as growth capital to make the business grow even faster. We could do it without the funding, but it's just going to grow slower. And so we want to grow faster. We want to help more people even more quickly, and that's why we're raising the funds. So the next question that people often ask is how you will see a return on your investment. Now, this is a simple response that I'll give, but you can get way more into the details. And if you guys want to see more content like this, I actually produce a lot of content about investing in startups on my own personal YouTube channel. So make sure you check that out. But in terms of this specific investment, when you invest, the way you make a return in a startup is different than investing in a public company. Here's the big difference. When you invest in a startup, you want to think of it as you're making this investment and it's sort of locked into the company. So you can't pull out or withdraw your money like you could if you invested in a public company like Apple or Facebook or Tesla. When you invest in those companies, Monday through Friday, you can decide to change your mind and you can sell your shares, and you could make money or lose money, by a few percent or a lot of percent, and then you can get your money back. When you invest in a startup, you can't do that. The only way that you can get an investment return is one of two ways. Either the company goes public, so MySwimPro is a publicly traded company, and then you can transact like you could for a Facebook or an Apple stock. Or the other way, which is actually a little bit more likely in the startup scenario, is your investment is basically merged into another company. So MySwimPro is acquired by another company. The best example that a lot of people are probably familiar with is Facebook acquired Instagram. So all the early investors in Instagram, they basically own shares in Facebook. And so the Facebook acquired Instagram. So yeah, I'm not saying Facebook's going to acquire our company, but the example holds true in that in the future, a company will buy MySwimPro and basically acquire for cash or stock or whatever the deal terms are. And if the purchase price is higher than the valuation of your investment, then you will have a positive return on investment. So for example, for this specific round, the company is raising at a 20 million valuation cap on a safe, simple agreement for future equity. That investment at a 20 million valuation cap, you want to think of as the valuation, right? It's not exactly, but to keep things simple, the valuation, right? If the company is acquired for $50 million down the road in the future, well, then you will have seen a positive return on investment, roughly 2.5 times. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but I'm trying to simplify it for the sake of the video. Now, we do have an early bird term special, so if you're in the first $500,000 invested in this campaign, you're actually going to see a discount rate. So instead of a 20 million valuation cap, you're actually investing at an 18 million valuation cap. So your potential return on investment is a little bit higher if you invest in that first 500,000. And as of the time of this video, we have not passed that yet. So we're more than halfway there, but there is an opportunity for you to have a slightly better terms on this investment window. So once we pass 500,000, the valuation cap goes from 18 million to 20 million, and you're investing at the full valuation. In the grand scheme of things, it's not really that big of a difference, but if you can get in early, I definitely recommend it because you're going to get slightly better investment terms. We've also seen different examples of investments that have a positive return on investment in the health and fitness space. Most recently, an app called Sweat with Kayla was acquired by iFit for a few $100 million. We've also seen Under Armour acquire MapMyFitness, MyFitnessPal, and Endomondo for a few $100 million each. We've also seen Adidas acquire Runtastic for, I believe, 200 million euros. So we've seen this happen over the last 5 or 10 years, and MySwimPro's goal is to really define the category of swimming, and if we can partner up with a massive company like that, that would be a really good outcome for not only the community because we can help more people more quickly, but also for you as a potential investor. So I think we're wrapping up all of the questions that I wanted to get out of the way. Now I'm going to move into some of your questions. We've already talked about the investment perks. We've talked about how the investment will be used. I've showed you guys how WeFunder works and how easy it is to make an investment there. Oh, the last thing I want to do before I move into your questions is I want to show you our investor deck. So we have an investment deck. It's available on wefunder.com/MySwimPro. And in this investment deck, I'm going to go ahead and share it because I believe it's really important for you guys to see. Let me go ahead and pull it up. Excellent. There it is. That is our investment deck. I'm going to go ahead and make it a little bit more interesting for you guys. There I am. Now I'm on the screen. Excellent. So this investment deck, I'm going to go through it really quick, slide by slide, just because I think it's very important for you to have this context. And I'll walk through what you should be looking for as an investor in any startup, not just our startup. And I want to highlight some things. And if you have any questions, again, you can leave them on the WeFunder campaign page, and I will answer them in the public. We want to be as transparent as possible. So direct your questions to the WeFunder campaign page. I'm going to answer a few in like 3 minutes once I get through this deck. Let's put a timer on it. We're going to shoot for less than 5 minutes. I'm going to spend on this investor deck. We'll go through it slide by slide. If you guys want a really long version of this, I did a dedicated video. It's like 25 minutes on my personal YouTube channel where I go through slide by slide and I really give it a full breakdown. But we'll keep this to another 4 minutes. Here we go. We have the MySwimPro investor deck. At the highest level, we talk about who we are, what we do. We're the #1 workout app for swimmers in the world. You see our awesome VP of Marketing, Paige Walters, showing off with her iPhone. She's got the Apple Watch. We have over 1.5 million members. It was App of the Year by Apple, and of course available on iOS and Android. So that's an overview of the product. Now you can see what our history was like. We launched, well, the idea was in 2014. I was coaching swimming, of all things, right? And I got the idea for this. We launched in 2015. We launched our business model in 2016. That's when we started to make money. 2016 named App of the Year. We started integrating with different partners like Strava. Less than 2 years later, we were App of the Day multiple times. We did our first equity crowdfunding in 2017 where we raised $130,000 from 137 beautiful investors all over the world. We passed 100,000 downloads. We've been featured in multiple publications. We translated the app, hit 1 million downloads in 2019. We launched MySwimPro Studios in 2020. Through the pandemic, we introduced dryland training. We held the World Swim Gala, founded World Swim Day. We've done all of that in the last 5 or 6 years. I forgot, in 2019, we did our second equity crowdfunding where we raised $465,000 from 200 plus investors. Now we have over 300 investors in 36 different countries, not including all of the investors who invested in this campaign. So we're at over 500 investors right now all over the world. Our goal is to get to 1,000 investors total by the time this campaign is wrapped up, so you guys can be a part of that. Next slide is the problem. Anytime you invest in a business, you want to understand what is the problem that this company is trying to solve and then understand the core value proposition of why this company even exists. So for us at MySwimPro, it's the problem that hiring a personal swim coach is very difficult. If you want to get better at swimming, you need a coach. You need someone to tell you what to do. And it's very difficult to get access to this. Again, you can hire a personal coach. It's going to be expensive and very difficult to get someone like that. And also, the community element of swimming is very challenging to come by. So we think of MySwimPro as the digital swimming community in the world. And that is really the problem that we are trying to solve. And of course, we solve it through not only our content, but of course, the MySwimPro mobile app available for iPhone and Android. Get a personalized training program as if you had a personal coach. We have the mantra, what would coach do? And that's how we think about things in the sense of developing our product offering and the value proposition for our members, because we know that it's so difficult to get that personalized coaching experience. And so we want to deliver that through our mobile application. It's not going to be the same as having a real personal coach with you. Sometimes it can be actually even better because you have real-time analytics and data along the way. So since launching in 2015, these numbers are actually a lot bigger than what they are on this screen. We have close to 1 million social media followers, thanks to almost 200,000 here on YouTube alone, where you guys are watching this probably. We have hundreds of millions of video views, over 10 billion workouts, 1 billion meters of swimming have been logged, and you can see that timeline on a chart that's going up and to the right. We have a global community. This is a very affluent community relative to other demographics. About half of our paying subscribers are inside the United States. And really, MySwimPro is more than just an app. It's truly a global community. We have downloads in over 180 different countries. And these people are all passionate about getting better at swimming and taking it to the next level. I mentioned a few times that MySwimPro was named App of the Year. We've been in Sports Illustrated, Men's Health, and a lot of other publications, both in swimming and fitness and outside of either of those domains. We have a great technology offering, and so Apple has featured us numerous times in different dimensions as well. Finally, we have a great content component to our business, and so maybe that's where you guys learned about MySwimPro on our YouTube channel, or you've seen me in a video explaining something about swimming, and people really trust our brand because we exist from a content perspective to educate all levels of swimmers. We also provide entertainment and inspiration so that people feel a connection to the community, so that they're a part of something really, really big, and that's what we want. We want to build trust, and we want to build this brand authority that we are the ultimate knowledge base for people getting better at swimming. Now, if we look at our historical revenue, to get into the weeds here a little bit, my picture is actually covering this up, so I'm going to remove myself really quick. Ta-da! I am off the screen. So in 2016, we started making money, a little over 10,000 revenue. 2017, we did more than 5 times that. 2018, almost $500,000 in revenue. We were profitable. 2019, we were profitable at 1.1 million in revenue. Then, of course, in 2020, the pandemic hit us, and our subscribers really fell off a cliff. But I will say, in the course of a once-in-a-100-year health crisis event that closed nearly 95% of the world's pools, we were still able to do nearly 1 million in revenue. We're projecting in 2021, we're definitely accelerating here in the back half of the year. We should do nearly 1.5 million in revenue, and we're looking to double that next year. So things are definitely on the up and up. And again, these are just projections, so these are what we can realistically think we can accomplish with the help of your funding if we reinvest in the product and also the marketing to expand to more people. From an investment perspective, this is one of the final slides, wrapping it up here. In 2017, we raised at a $5 million safe valuation cap. in 2019 at a $10 million valuation cap, and today it's at that $20 million valuation cap. You can see our numbers have grown. Our team size has continued to grow. We have an international team that spans 10 whole not 10 continents, 10 time zones. We don't have 10 continents. And so because of that, we are able to really bring an international perspective to our business. I've already mentioned some of these things, but we're going to continue the trend of personalization and really bringing this to a new fitness community. And the timeline here from an investment perspective, we're raising up to $3 million in this campaign. Some of that will come from WeFunder directly through your investment, others professional off of the platform. We'll see how that shakes out. And then the goal here is in the next 18 months to basically 3x all of our major KPIs. So that means monthly recurring revenue, our subscriber base, and of course, the number of community members, meaning the followers that we have on all of our different social media platforms. So this is being presented to you by yours truly, Ferris Sabetti, myself, co-founder and CEO of MySwimPro. I'm covering up my own stats here. Adam's our CTO, Paige our VP of marketing, and we have an awesome team of people all over the world who are really passionate about bringing this new technology to the world and helping people improve their performance and health. So if that hasn't sold you, that I don't know what will. Maybe the Q&A that we're going to get into in the next 30 seconds. But now is the time to invest, because this is the intersection of wearable technology and the media empire that we are building. It's all coming together. So if you want to invest, now is the time to do it. Honestly, 4 years ago was the time to do it. But you still have an opportunity to get involved. And we've proven out a lot more things in the last 4 years since that first investment round we did on WeFunder. So make sure you join the #1 fitness app in the world for swimmers. And I believe that covers it. Here is our community. They look beautiful. Look at how awesome everyone is in this photo. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the Q&A. Very excited about this. All right, John, what's going on? Just got my question answered. Thanks. Well, that's good. Okay. Here's a question. How much I earned? Great question. So what I believe we're going for here is if you want to see how to invest, go to wefunder.com/MySwimPro, and you can rewind in this video. Not sure when you join the video. This is a public video. It'll be accessible in the future as well. And I go through step by step. You go on the webpage, you enter in how much you're going to invest, and voila. That is how you make the investment. In terms of how much is earned, I talked about this a little bit. And the way you make money investing in a startup is the company either goes public, or it means it's publicly listed on like the New York Stock Exchange type of thing, or the company is acquired by another company at a higher valuation than what we are raising money at right now. So the investment round is at a 20 million valuation, and is your goal for us, and our goal, to make the business more valuable so that in 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, the company is worth way more than $20 million. And the difference there, that multiple, is your return on investment. All right, King, question here. Only WeFunder or other platforms coming soon? So we are only raising money on WeFunder. This is really important. I don't want anyone to invest in something that someone's pretending to be us, and it's a scam. So if it's not the link, wefunder.com/MySwimPro, do not put any money into that. I will personally never ask anyone to send me money directly, so that would be a scam. So if you see someone pretending to be me, do not give them any money. I will never ask anyone to send me money directly. All of it is going through WeFunder. It's unfortunate that I have to say that, but that's the reality that we live in of the internet. So make sure you go to the right link, and you'll see hundreds of other people have already commented, and that is where you will invest. I'm a huge fan of your channel. I also swim, and my breaststroke still needs to be narrow. How can I teach myself to narrow breaststroke? All right, we're going to keep these questions to the investment, but hopefully you can find another video, and maybe our customer service can follow up with you on that specific question. Is MySwimPro going public anytime soon? Good question. Anything can happen, but if I'm going to be as clear as possible, that is not in our current roadmap in the short term. So our current short-term roadmap, raise this investment capital now, reinvest in the business, and then as the years go on, MySwimPro will become more and more valuable. We'll raise another round of financing, most likely in the future. Some other form of financing will happen, at which point the company ideally will be worth more than it is right now. So not looking to take the company public. Okay, great question here. Any plans to distribute dividends to investors? This is a great question. No. So the answer is we will not be distributing dividends, and the plan is not to do that in the future. And it's really important that I explain why this is. So normally, to explain dividends for those who are not familiar, when you have ownership in a company, the profits of the business are distributed to the shareholders in the form of a dividend, sort of like a thank you for investing in the business, and here's a little bit of a payback. Oftentimes, publicly traded companies might have a dividend that yields 1 to 4% per year, on an annual basis. The reason why we are not distributing dividends is because MySwimPro is more of a growth company. So we want to take all of the investment that we have, any profits there are, and we want to reinvest them back into the business to grow even faster. So if we were to try and distribute dividends, that would actually hurt the company's potential for growth. So we want to have full control of the assets to reinvest in the business to make the overall business as valuable as possible. And so that philosophy is actually very similar in a public company as well. If it's a growth company, they're probably not going to pay any dividends. If it's a slower moving big company that already exists and is very profitable, they may pay out dividends on a quarterly basis. So, hey, Swimwell, what's going on? Thanks for joining. If you guys haven't checked out Swimwell, great YouTube channel. I believe they have at least 50,000 subscribers. Will you possibly run any swim caps abroad? If yes, where? This is a great question. I've been talking to a lot of people. We currently do not run any swim camps. This is something that we would consider. We were considering this before COVID, and then COVID happened, and of course, no one was traveling, no in-person events, none of that stuff. So we sort of put that idea on hold, but I'm definitely interested in exploring this in the future. It could be a new revenue stream for MySwimPro and also help our brand reach more people from an in-person event perspective. So no plans in the short term, but I definitely am interested in doing this and even collaborating with different brands all over the world. All right, here's a good question from John. Who is your competition currently, and who might you see entering the space that would be seen as competing? That's a great question. So there are a few different ways to look at competition. Our biggest competitor, a lot of people don't even realize this, our biggest competitor is the status quo of running swim workouts or tracking swim workouts on your Apple Watch or your Garmin device. So if you buy an Apple Watch or a Garmin like I have on right now, you can just track your swim and never use MySwimPro. We know that there's a better way to do it. We know that through personalized training programs and structured workouts, you can improve your swimming at a much more dramatic route. The problem is, not everyone knows that you can do that, and not everyone knows that MySwimPro is the best way to do that. And so our biggest competition from that perspective is actually the Apple native tracking app or the Garmin. It's sort of like if you're creating a car, back when cars were being created, your competition isn't other cars, it's the horse. So people are used to using one thing, but there's a better way to do it. And so if you think about that analogy of, okay, I'm trying to get from point A to point B on a horse. Do I want a faster horse? No, you want a car. And so it takes time to bridge the gap of innovation. And so MySwimPro redefined personal coaching on a wearable device. So from that perspective, we want to introduce the world to a new way of doing things that we know is way better and our community knows is far superior to the status quo. There are, of course, other competitors in the app space. If you just go to the App Store and you type in swim, you'll see a few of those listed out. And some of them have great experiences from a wearable perspective or maybe a tracking perspective or a video, whatever. We want to be the best holistic experience that brings this new innovation of the wearable device to the market. And so right now we have a category leading advantage, but we want to continue that and further our lead. So with your investment, you can help us do that. Oh, great question. Any plans to include Samsung Galaxy watches? Yeah, so we want to include a lot more clients. We call them clients. So right now we have iPhone, that's a client. We have Android, that's a client. Apple Watch, we have Garmin. We've had a few others in the past, and we want to bring in more in the future. And so to do that, to reinvest in the product and to deliver a better experience on more platforms, including a website, other smartwatches, and other wearables that pop up in the future, we need your investment. So yes, absolutely, we want to be able to integrate with more platforms. Right now, we are limited in scope and capacity because we need to focus on doing something really, really well. Once we've mastered that, I would love to move into other categories of clients, which would be maybe it's a Samsung watch, maybe it's other watches. We want to do that for sure. You bet. All right, let's see here. Any other questions? Let's see. What other questions do we have? I did mention minimum investment's $100. Some people asking how much you can do that. All right, here's a good question. Is MySwimPro Media the same company, or is it not covered on this campaign? Are you planning to enter the business or developing or selling equipment, or is your plan to stick to training? Ooh, this is a good question. All right, so here's the overview. MySwimPro is the business. Inside of MySwimPro, you have something called MySwimPro Studios. That produces all of the content that you see. So if you like this YouTube channel, if you like all the videos we do, the video shoots, all of that stuff, that's all underneath MySwimPro Incorporated. We also have, so that answers the first part of your question, hopefully. We also have the main revenue driver, which is the MySwimPro app. So MySwimPro app has the subscription business model, and that's how we make most of our revenue. That's also under MySwimPro Incorporated. MySwimPro is also the major sponsor of World Swim Day, an international holiday that empowers people around the world to be active in the water and swim. We have sponsorships that are embedded within all three of those things. And so all of that is under the same umbrella of MySwimPro Incorporated. And as we expand in the future, yes, we want to improve the app. We want to have more media content. And if that means producing more products, maybe it's physical products, that could obviously be a part of that as well. But right now we're focused on training. We're focused on delivering that experience and producing media that educates and empowers people and then brings them back to the app if they want to take it to the next level. So I hope that explains that. Yep, World Swim Day is October 23rd this year. You guys can sign up at worldswimday.org. You can also get a premium ticket, and that gets you access to getting a World Swim Day medal, and the proceeds are donated to Learn to Swim programs. I actually have a World Swim Day medal. Here it is. There it is. Look at that beautiful World Swim Day medal. So I hope you guys can sign up for that. All right, so I think we have a little bit of time for some Q&A. I know MySwimPro, we have prepared some questions, and then we're going to wrap things up. And Ken, if I didn't get to your questions, or maybe you're watching this at a later date and you wish you could have had the opportunity to ask a question, actually don't leave it here in the comments of this video if you're watching it after the fact. Go to our campaign page, which is wefunder.com/MySwimPro, and that is where you can ask your question. You can make your investment. I put the link right here. There it is. And so make sure you leave your question there. In the short term, I'm going to go ahead and answer some lingering MySwimPro questions. We can pull those on screen. All right, let me go ahead and... Oh, here's another question. Do you generate revenue from other than subscription sales? Very good question. So, yes, most of our revenue comes from the app subscription. So we monetize three ways in there. We have the iPhone subscription, Android subscription, and we can also set up an account for your subscription on our website. We use Stripe as our payment provider, and that is how we make about 17% of our subscribers come through our website. Now, we also have revenue channels that include branded sponsorships. So sometimes a brand wants to work with us, and we have a great email list. We have, when I talk on YouTube about a different company and that integration, that is a sponsorship revenue. We also have advertising that runs on the YouTube channel and Facebook as well. We also have affiliates, so that's revenue that comes in from people clicking on different links that we have with our partners. And so all of that is about 10% of our revenue. So it's growing very quickly, and I actually think it will be a bigger component of the business in the future. But right now, subscribers are the biggest component of that. So hopefully that answers that question. All right, let's see what other questions we've got for you guys. Yep, no problem. Yeah, happy to answer those questions for you guys. All right, let's see. Any other questions that we have? We can put them on screen. Kaylee, if you're still watching, if you can throw on those final questions that are in those bullet points, then we can put them on the screen. Hey, Ken, what's going on? Get revenue from advertising. Yep, I just touched on that a little bit, but basically, we want to be able to create an awesome community that's super, super large. And through sponsorships, which we started doing last year and is growing in revenue, we can partner with brands and we can talk about their products and they pay us for that. So that's a new revenue stream, and also the affiliate component that comes off of that. That's big as well. All right, here we go. Let's wrap up here with the last final bit of questions. When will the investment campaign end? This is a good question. So we do have the early bird special, and that really just depends on how many people invest. And so it's not up to me, it's up to you guys. So if you guys invest really quick, actually, let me go ahead and share that. Here we go. Let's go to Safari. Ta-da! So if you guys look at this, right now we have 281,596 who invested $1. Someone added $1 to their campaign. That's funny. And so when we get to $500,000, the terms change a little bit. Right now we have the early bird special at an 18 million valuation cap. And then after $500,000 is reached, I imagine that'll be in the next week or so. We're going to do some big marketing pushes. And so you probably have 7 days to maybe 10 days from time this video goes to getting into that early bird discount. And then after that, we have about maybe 4 to 6 more weeks of this campaign being open. So if you want to invest, you should invest now, because you don't want to miss out on a potential 10% discount if you're going to invest anyway. So may as well do it now. That's a good question. When will the campaign end? All right, let's see here. Great question about the content. Yeah, so the content, a lot of it, especially with me, so I speak English, so we'll keep it in English, but we want to add subtitles. The app is already in 9 languages, and we want to bring our content to more languages as well. Oh, great question. Okay, so in prior campaigns, how much money did we raise? So in 2017, we raised 130,000 from 137 investors. That was a safe at a 5 million valuation cap. In 2019, we raised 465,000 from, I believe, 205 or 210 investors, something like that. And so in total, through equity crowdfunding on WeFunder, we've raised about $600,000. Now we have raised a little bit of money outside of WeFunder. Our first investor was the Regents of the University of Michigan. We did a program with them back in 2016. They invested $50,000 in seed capital on a safe with an uncapped valuation. We also raised from Invest Detroit Ventures, an institution in Detroit, Michigan. And in total, all of our investments is about $776,000. That's all of our true investments into the business. In terms of ownership, here's the question. So in terms of ownership, the company is still in control. Everything we've raised is safe. We have one convertible note through Invest Detroit. That was $80,000. And so in total, all of our investing, and we've gotten some PPP funding, it's about $1 million. Investment is about $750,000. The rest is, pitch competitions that I've won, equity-free grants, stuff like that. With this campaign, we already have over $200,000 in investment committed. So if you add the $750,000 plus this $200,000, we're already over $1 million of outside capital raised. But we haven't pulled in, the current round. So I'm not counting that. That doesn't count because we haven't officially raised that. Great. All right, let's fire off some more questions here. So we answered how much money has the company already raised. So I already said that. And actually, on my personal YouTube channel, I'll plug it again, I did a video really detailing how we raised $1 million. And I break it down year by year. What is the valuation? I also talk about the PPP we got, and I really break it down. It's like 20 minutes long. So if you're really interested in MySwimPro finances, make sure you check out that video. I think if you just Google search or go on YouTube and you type in MySwimPro 1 million, maybe type in my name, you'll probably find that video. All right, so let's see here. What's the next question? Oh, if we don't have any more questions, we're going to wrap this up. Like I said, if you guys are interested in asking more questions, make sure you guys go to the campaign page, wefunder.com/MySwimPro. and you guys can check that out. But we got another question. What kind of shares is the investment? Good question. So I've had a lot of people ask me this, actually. When you invest, you're investing in something called a SAFE. A SAFE is an abbreviation for Simple Agreement for Future Equity. And it's really simple. That's why it's in the name. Basically, this means you have future ownership in the company. This is very common in equity crowdfunding campaigns. If you go to WeFunder's website and you look at other campaigns, a lot of them are raising on the SAFE. And what that means is when the company raises additional financing, so we raise a Series A, the company goes public, is acquired, whatever, any of those events will trigger conversion. So you'll basically get a certificate that says that you will have ownership at the terms specified, so the 18 or 20 million valuation cap. And then in the future, when we have a qualified financing event, which means we raise money, the company goes public, is acquired, something like that, then your certificate, your agreement, will convert into equity at the valuation of 18 million or 20 million. So it doesn't really matter what the future valuation is because you're protected by a valuation cap. So if there was no valuation cap, which is something to look out for if you're thinking about making other startup investments, you want to be really careful with that, because if you invest in a SAFE and there's no valuation cap, and then that qualified financing happens at 100 million valuation or $1 billion valuation, then you're going to get diluted at the $1 billion valuation. So it's as if you invested when the company's worth $1 billion, but you invested way earlier than that. And so having a valuation cap is really, really important. And so that's how the shares of the investment actually work. You're going to convert into preferred shares, but not right now. You don't have the shares right now. It's an agreement. At the conversion, that's when you get the shares. All right, who owns the company? Well, you have the chance of owning a little tiny piece of it in the future, but for right now, it's mostly the founders. So myself and my two co-founders, we own a majority of the business, and also all of our team members own a little piece of the business, because everyone who joins the company is given option grants, which basically mean over a 4-year vesting schedule, you are getting a grant of equity in the business. So it's a pretty small amount relative to the overall pie, but this is really important because we don't have investors who own the company. They're not driving the direction of the business. At the end of the day, I drive the direction of the business as the CEO and as also the largest shareholder of the company. And so between myself, my co-founders, and the team, we have a majority of the ownership. And even after this investment round, and let's say we raise the full $3 million, we will still have complete ownership of the company. So that's really important for people to know, that you're not investing in some shell company that I was hired as the CEO and then whatever. So I have a majority stake and I'm the CEO. And so all of the investment decisions are actually made by me. And so that's really important for everyone to be aware of. All right. This has been fun. It's almost 50 minutes. So if you guys have been watching this entire time, the last 50 minutes, I want to thank you for having that much patience, and really, it means you're interested in what we're doing. So thank you again for watching. If you guys have any other questions, make sure you go to the wefunder.com/MySwimPro, invest for as little as $100, and you can be a part of the future of swimming. Not only the future of swimming, the future of the fitness industry. And if you guys want 5 reasons, if you want to hear it again, why you should invest in MySwimPro, here they are, 5 reasons why you should invest. I'll catch you guys in the next video, and I'll talk to you later. Happy swimming. Here are 5 reasons why you should invest in MySwimPro. Reason number 1, the MySwimPro app has over 1.5 million downloads across 180 countries. You're investing in the #1 fitness app for swimmers around the world. Not only that, the MySwimPro app was named by Apple as the best app of the year and has been featured by Sports Illustrated, Men's Health, and numerous other international publications. Reason number 2, your investment in MySwimPro will directly help people improve their performance and health. We all know the incredible health benefits that swimming has for humanity. It's time we invest in what really matters. Reason number 3, the global community. That's where you come in. MySwimPro has the largest digital community of swimmers in the world. We have a huge social media following across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Reason number 4, we're all swimmers. MySwimPro is built by swimmers, for swimmers, and we're extremely passionate about helping people reach their goals.
Reason number 5, you can invest in MySwimPro for as little as $100. Can you imagine investing in some of the biggest health and fitness brands in the world like Under Armour, Nike, or Peloton? Your returns would be absolutely insane. And that's why now is the time to invest. Visit the campaign page, wefunder.com/MySwimPro, so you can invest and be a part of something huge. Let's go.